What is up, pirates, and welcome back to the Grand Line. Today, we need to have a very serious conversation. We need to stop lying to ourselves. For years, the One Piece community has looked at Kaido, the strongest creature, the unkillable dragon, and said, "Yup, that's the ceiling, that's the peak of power." We looked at his durability, his mythical zone fruit, and his massive kanabo, and we accepted that he was the apex predator. But we were looking at the wrong floor. While Kaido was playing the game of monsters, relying on scales and brute force, red-haired Shanks was playing a completely different game. A game where you don't need to be unkillable, because your opponent can't even touch you. A game where you don't need to transform because your will alone is enough to freeze an Admiral from miles away. We are here to argue that Shanks isn't just another Yonko. He is the Haki god of the verse, and his power is on a level that fundamentally breaks the rules of One Piece combat. All right, class is in session. Today, we are dissecting the red-haired emperor. We are going to break down the killer of observation, the Wi-Fi hockey incident, and the one-shot heard round the world. We are going to prove with cold hard facts why Shanks stands alone at the summit. To understand why Shanks is superior, we first have to understand why Kaido was inferior. Kaido's entire build was stat check. He was a tank. His philosophy was, "I am a dragon. My scales are impenetrable. You can hit me, but you can't hurt me." He invited attacks. He tanked hits from the Scabbards, from the Worst Generation, from Yamato, and from Gear 5 Luffy. He relied on his mythical zone fruit to outlast everyone. He was a raid boss with a massive health bar. Shanks is the antithesis of this. Shanks is not a tank. He is a normal human. If you stab him, he bleeds. If a Sea King bites his arm, well, we know what happens. He doesn't have the luxury of tanking hits. He doesn't have dragon scales or Big Mom's iron balloon skin. So, how does a normal human stand above the monsters? By ensuring he never gets hit in the first place. Shanks represents the absolute pinnacle of offensive and control hockey. Kaido dominates through physical imposition, Shanks dominates through spiritual imposition. Kaido breaks your bones, Shanks breaks your mind and your future before you even swing your sword. This is the distinction between a creature and a god. One survives the storm, the other is the storm. Shanks followed the Roger blueprint. Haki transcends all. He is the living proof that a sufficiently powerful hockey master doesn't need a devil fruit because the fruit user won't even get the chance to use their powers. Now let's get technical. This is the ability that truly separates Shanks from every other top tier we have seen. It's confirmed in the official Volume 4 Billion data book given out with One Piece Film Red. Shanks possesses a unique application of Conquerors Haki known as the Killer of Observation, Kenbun Goroshi. Let's explain why this is literally game-breaking. In the high-tier One Piece meta, think Katakuri versus Luffy or Kaido versus Luffy, the fight revolves around future sight. If you can see the future, you can dodge anything. You can predict your opponent's next move and counter it. Future sight is the ultimate defense. Shanks turns that off. By controlling his own presence or breath, signs of life, and by projecting an overwhelming aura, he prevents his opponents from seeing the future. Imagine fighting someone in a dark room. Normally, you have night vision goggles, future sight. Then, Shanks walks in and smashes your goggles. Now you are blind and he can see perfectly. If Kaido fights Shanks, Kaido can use future sight to predict Shanks' attacks, but Shanks can cancel Kaido's future sight. This means Shanks can land hits that Kaido literally cannot predict or react to in time. It removes the opponent's ability to defend themselves on a cognitive level. This isn't just stronger Haki, it's a hard counter to the entire combat system of the New World. It forces the opponent to react in real time to a man who is likely the fastest in the verse. It's a death sentence. If observation killing is his defense, then let's talk about his range. We have to talk about Wano. We have to talk about Admiral Ryokugyu, Green Bull. Green Bull is a Navy admiral. He is a powerhouse. He walked into Wano and was ready to take on the remaining scabbards, Yamato, and a recovering Luffy. He is not weak, and yet he was completely paralyzed, terrified, and forced to de-transform by a burst of Conquerors Haki from miles away. Shanks was on his ship, the Red Force, still out at sea. He wasn't even on the island. He projected a focused beam of Conquerors Haki across the ocean with such precision that he could communicate with Green Bull telepathically, and with such force that an admiral, one of the world government's greatest military powers, was sweating, shaking, and pleading for mercy. This is unprecedented. We have seen Conquerors clashes split the sky, Whitebeard versus Shanks, Kaido versus Big Mom, but those were point-blank clashes. We have never, ever seen a character weaponize Haki like a sniper rifle from miles away to completely incapacitate a top-tier combatant. This is what the community calls Wi-Fi Haki, and it implies that Shanks doesn't even need to be in the same zip code to defeat you. If he can do that to an admiral from miles away, imagine what that Haki pressure feels like when he is standing 2 feet in front of you. It would be suffocating. It validates the theory that Shanks' Conqueror's Haki is dense enough to inflict physical damage and suppression on a level we haven't seen from anyone else, including Roger. Finally, we have the most recent and most undeniable piece of evidence, Elbaf. Eustace Captain Kidd. Kid is not a scrub. Kid, along with Law, defeated Big Mom. He has immense durability. He took hits from a Yonko and kept fighting. He has an awakened Double Fruit. He walked up to Shanks' fleet feeling confident, and Shanks ended him in one panel. He didn't play around. He didn't monologue. He saw a terrible future where Kid destroys his fleet, jumped across the ocean in an instant, and unleashed divine departure, Kamusari. Let's look at the damage. He didn't just defeat Kid. He one-shot Kid. He one-shot Killer, who tried to block. He destroyed their railgun, and the attack was so powerful, it basically decimated their ship. Compare this to Kaido. Kaido hit Law and Kid multiple times. Big Mom hit them with her strongest attacks. Neither of them could one-shot Kid. Kid tanked their hits and kept getting back up. But against Shanks, it was lights out instantly. This proves that Shanks' attack potency is significantly higher or more concentrated than Kaido's or Big Mom's. He doesn't waste energy. He compresses all that god-tier Haki into a single sword swing that bypasses durability. If Kaido is a blunt hammer, Shanks is a laser beam. He hit Kid with the same move Roger used on Odin, but arguably with even more lethal intent. This feat alone puts his offense above the durability-based Yonko we've seen so far. So when we put these pieces together, what do we see? He counters the defensive meta by killing Future Sight. He possesses long-range suppression that can freeze admirals. He has attack potency that exceeds the other Yonko, capable of one-shotting Yonko killer-level pirates. He has speed that catches Future Sight users off guard. Shanks is a god-tier Haki user. In a world where Kaido believed Haki transcends all, Shanks is the living embodiment of that truth. He is the master of all three forms, pushed to their absolute theoretical limits. He doesn't need to be a dragon. He doesn't need to be a soul pocus witch. He creates his own reality through sheer willpower. This is why he stopped the Marineford War just by showing up. This is why Kaido put him in his top 5. This is why the Gorosei fear him. Not because he has a political connection, but because if Shanks actually decides to fight for real, there might not be anyone alive who can stop him. He is the gatekeeper to the One Piece, and he has been sitting at the finish line, waiting for someone strong enough to endure his Haki storm. Kaido was the world's strongest creature, but creatures can be tamed. Shanks is a force of nature that cannot be contained. The evidence is overwhelming. Stop scaling Shanks like he's just another pirate. He is the ceiling. He is the gold standard. And until we see Emu or Blackbeard pull off something crazier, red-haired Shanks wears the crown of the strongest Haki user in history. But that's just the evidence I've gathered. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think Shanks Haki is truly invincible? Or do you think Mihawk, with his black blade, actually has the edge in a duel? Is Dragon the dark horse we're all sleeping on? I want you to flood the comments with your top 3 strongest characters right now. Let's settle this debate once and for all. If this analysis unlocked your Conquerors Haki, please smash that like button. It really helps the channel sail through the algorithm. And of course, if you haven't already, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next deep dive into the Grand Line. Thanks for watching, pirates. And remember, in this era, Haki reigns supreme.